Hey everybody, we're back in the shop today. Today we're going to be putting a winch on my trailer. So I've always thought it's something that every trailer needs. You never know when you're going to be by yourself and just can't quite get whatever it is on the trailer. So we're putting this winch on and I'll show you how I do it. So right now I've just got this tacked on here. I just went ahead. I've already cut off everything I don't want. So it had this hand crank winch. And then it had this random plate. I'm not sure what it was for. I'm assuming for if a motorcycle's on here, they were storing the wheel. Whoever's trailer this was, anyway. So I cut those off. Plate was here, and the winch was in the same spot. I do like this bracketry here. I'll probably put a reinforcement sideways, just in case you get a weird angle of pull. Here's my cat. Anyway, so what I want to focus on today is just getting the winch mounted, and then we'll go from there. So what my plan is, so I've got this tacked, and I just tacked it on. I mean, this is just a steel plate with a fair lead, so it's basically just going to become structure. So I think what I'll do is I'll finish weld it underneath, and then I'll probably come back here and I'll tie these corners into this rail here. And then after that, we'll drill holes to mount the winch plate itself. It has several different options for holes, so we'll do that, and we'll see what we can come up with. On top of that, I'll probably mount a battery. I might actually use that wheel storage plate and cut it apart and use that for a battery mount. And we'll probably that on the front here somewhere, probably right underneath. Then all we gotta do is run the cables right up to the top. And then eventually I'll have some kind of controller, I think, or maybe I'll just run it to like a two-way toggle switch that'll be hard mounted. And then like a quick battery disconnect so we don't drain anything. But I guess today I'll focus on getting the winch mounted and probably the battery mount. And maybe even start on the shock mounts. Alright, so I got this welded around the front. And then I just stitch weld two other places. And then it's welded around the back, and the same on the other side. And then I also welded on this inside lip. I'm not too worried about this inside because it's going to be bolted through to get the winch on. So as far as that goes, it doesn't need to be too overkill. I mean, it's not like you're pulling a car. Maybe the lawnmowers aren't that heavy. So I think what I got now will be good structural wise. So the next step is putting some diagonal plates here and here, just to keep any torsion off of the plate and the winch. So I'll get to cutting those out, some plate steel, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got tabs cut out, welded on, and this is what we're with is these tabs came out really good, fit nice, and then all I had to do was I had to do a little fill here in the corners, but just weld up and then across, and then you might be able to tell same on the inside, but that'll do pretty good. I mean, it's real solid now, so that shouldn't be going anywhere. So next I'll move on to getting the holes for that put in there, and we'll get the winch mounted on. All right, so I got 2 holes drilled, and I decided I was going to tap these since it's going through the weld and then through the wall of this tubing. So I'm going to tap it. It should be plenty strong that way too. That way I don't have to have any ugly bolts sticking down through the bottom. So I'm going to tap these out, and then we'll get the winch on, work on the battery. All right, so there it is. We got both bolts in there. It's totally secured. We've got the cable routed through the fair lead there. Obviously it's got some entanglement I have to work out, but at least that's solid mounted now. And so now I will work on getting a battery tray somewhere probably in here, but we'll see where it fits. So for the battery, it's not going to take much to hold it. Obviously I'll have to make a strap over the top. My main focus today is just going to be getting a location. I have these scraps from old pieces off of this trailer, so I think I'll cut those to the length I want and square everything off, and then I'll use these to hold it from going side to side, and that should locate it good on the frame, nice and solid. And then the wiring is really close in location there to the winch, so I can just run the wires straight up, nice and neat and over, and probably put a controller on this beam. But we'll work on getting that mounted, and then we'll see what's next. Got our pieces cut, laid out, edges all cleaned up, so now we'll lay some tacks on there, and we'll make these last inside pieces, and then we'll weld it all up. So here's our battery tray all tacked up. Just real simple, nothing fancy, good enough to do the job with all free metal I had just sitting around. So now I'll get it welded up, and we'll set the battery in, go from there. All right, so we got her all mostly welded up. I ran out of welding wire, but that'll work for now. I can move on to at least setting the battery in there. I'm doing a quick wiring up. I want to see if I can get that winch unspooled, cleaned up, and just see what it'll look like overall. Well, I've hot wired it to this car battery, and so I can verify that it works. So what I'm going to do is unspool it to where I'm happy, which it's okay where I've got it now, and I'm basically going to attach this hook. I'll just loop it through this bolt hole here, and then I'll clamp it, and that should do enough for what I want. And then I'll be able to retract it, and I can just hook it right under there for storage, and that should be done. So we got my hook on, so all I gotta do is we'll hot wire it, and then we'll get it fed in with the proper storage. As you can see, now we've got winch mounted. We got the battery plate on there, obviously for the other battery that's charging. And then we've got our cable properly hooked up, a good latch system. So hopefully this is some good inspiration for you guys if you are gonna put a winch on a trailer, which I highly recommend. I've still got a few things left to do, braces and things like that, but this will give you a main idea for something that you might want to create. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about anything, what I used, just leave it in the comments. Please leave me a like, maybe subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.